You don't need more members, you need more believers. Let me explain. So much of what we've been taught about loyalty in wine, from club perks to exclusivity, is out of step with how real brand relationships are being built today. In this episode of The Radar, we're recapping 3 of the most important loyalty stories we've covered in the past quarter. Taken together, they point to a new definition of loyalty, not just as a retention tool, but as a long-term brand strategy grounded in emotion, identity, and trust. Let's start with one of the best reports I've read in years, out of the UK agency VCCP. It's called The Long and Short of Loyalty, and here's the core idea. Most brands treat loyalty like a retention tactic, but the brands seeing real growth, they're treating loyalty as a brand building strategy. VCCP reviewed hundreds of marketing effectiveness studies and found that when loyalty is strategic, not just transactional, it delivers some serious results. Campaigns that focus on loyalty are 50% more likely to drive revenue, they're 8 times more likely to improve long-term retention, and they're 80% more likely to acquire new customers. In other words, loyalty drives acquisition, not just repeat purchases. Top performing brands, what VCCP calls loyalty leaders, share what they call the loyalty X factor, a mix of emotion, identity, and intelligence that makes customers feel loyal, not just act loyal. They frame loyalty as belonging, not just bonuses. They understand emotional value, not just transactional data, and they deliver branded experiences that are personal, seamless, and consistent, both online and off. The kicker. Functional loyalty is fragile. Discounts don't build brand love, but emotion does. And let's be honest, most wine loyalty programs are just club tiers. Some perks, some emails, some members-only discounts. But wine has the ingredients for emotional loyalty: heritage, storytelling, rituals, lifestyle. What's missing is the strategy to connect those dots. So if you want loyalty to drive real value for your wine brand, stop thinking like a retention marketer. Start thinking like a brand builder. Because as VCCP puts it, loyalty isn't about who stays, it's about who shows up. Next, let's talk about the rising role of creators in loyalty strategy. So for years, influencer marketing in wine has been treated like a nice to have, maybe a seasonal budget line or a one-off bottle drop or a guest post on Insta. And for many, it's lived under PR, not brand or growth. But that is not the game anymore. According to Sprout Social's Q1 2025 Pulse survey, 59% of marketers plan to increase their influencer spend this year. This is not because it's trendy, it's because it's working. Why is it working? Paid media costs are rising. Search is evolving with AI, and most importantly, platform trust is splintering. So right now, creators are not a novelty. They are navigation to your brand. They are trusted voices who are guiding audiences across an increasingly unpredictable digital landscape. Influencer marketing is no longer about likes or follows. Now it's about visibility, access, and cultural context. And for wine, this means if you are still hiring influencers to do a one-time toast in your vineyard, you're missing the mark. You need a creator strategy, not just influencer stunts. Think long-term partnerships. Meet audiences where they already are and be there often. Because the more somebody sees a creator whom they trust with your product, the more natural that connection feels. Next, let's zoom in on what younger consumers, particularly Gen Z, are really looking for in their brand relationships. And here's the truth. This is not what you post. It is how you behave. At this year's LTK Upfronts in New York, 3 of the platform's top Gen Z creators took the stage, and their message to brands was super simple. Stop selling to us. Start seeing us. They don't want to be managed. They want to be understood, and they want to feel like they're a part of something real. That means respect their audiences, trust their tone, and give them room to show your product in the context of real life, not overbriefed, polished ad shoots. This generation values alignment over aesthetics. They're going to reward brands that reflected their world, not brands that perform for it. And this is where I think wine marketing often misses the mark. We still think influencer means someone holding a glass at sunset, but Gen Z can spot stage content and half scroll. So what actually resonates? Work with creators who already drink your wine, trust them to speak in their voice for their audience, and invest in partnerships that reflect their world, not just your brand guidelines. You do not need massive budgets to do this. regional foodies, micro-influencers, even your own tasting room staff with good online audiences. All of them can be meaningful allies if the fit is right. So the big wine takeaway is trust is the new influence and relevance beats polished. The best loyalty strategy is one that starts with listening. So what does all of this mean? The old rules of loyalty said, give people a perk and hope they come back. The new rules say, build memory, build identity, and build relevance so that they never leave. Loyalty equals belonging, influence equals retention, content equals continuity. If you want to future-proof your wine brand, loyalty must go beyond offers. It has to mean something to your customers, to your creators, and to your culture. That's it for this week's episode of the Wine Marketer's Radar. Need help with your wine marketing? Head over to fiveforest.com.